What's good, everybody? It's your man, the myth, the legend, the voice, bringing you this week's timeout. This is where we take a step back and assess the game of life, looking to God for strategies to bring us true success. This week's thought: rejection. Dikembe Mutombo was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo and was one of the famed big men to play for the Georgetown Hoyas in the 80s and the 90s. He went on to be the 4th overall pick in the 91 NBA draft by the Denver Nuggets, led that franchise to a history-making performance, being the first 8th seed to defeat a number 1 seed in the playoffs. He's tied with Ben Wallace for the most Defensive Player of the Year titles at 4, outside of wearing number 55, which was retired by both Denver and Atlanta. He's known for wagging his finger after blocking someone's shot, an action that he capitalized on post-career in a recent insurance commercial. As the 3-time blocks leader, he wagged that finger many times during his 18-year career. Rejecting others was his signature, his calling card, an act that undoubtedly demoralized those attempting to score on the 7'2" center. Likewise, when we're rejected, we feel dejected, embarrassed, possibly hurt, or worse, humiliated. How do we react when this happens? Often we'll isolate ourselves and replay the act in our minds. What could I do differently? Why was I not accepted? What's wrong with me? This leads to self-loathing, insecurity, and often anger, the last of which opens the door for all kinds of wrong. Just look at the story of Cain. He vulnerably presented an offering to only have it rejected, while his little brothers was accepted. The Lord looked on him in his angry state of pouting and told him if he did right, he'd be accepted. Yahweh also warned that sin was at the door due to his anger, and it wanted to control him. He was urged to overcome it. Instead of owning his error and overcoming the sin, he projected his anger onto his brother, causing Cain to be the first murderer in history. Eve had hopes that Cain would be the redeemer that God had promised, the one who would restore order and bring life. Instead, he would be marred, consumed by hatred, and driven by denial. He's the example of what not to do. Instead of being the child of promise, Eve gave birth to another son, Seth, through whom the promise of the Redeemer will be fulfilled as being the ancestor of Jesus. He showed us just how to handle rejection, Jesus that is. How do we handle it? By praying for our enemies on the cross, and as he did on the cross. He knew many were deceived and unaware of their actions. For those who were unwilling to receive the gospel, that knowingly rejected it though, he told his disciples, shake the dust with their feet off as a sign of coming destruction for those cities. Even for those that have done wonderful works in his name, but rejected a relationship with him, he'll say, depart from me, evildoers, evildoers. These ones who've healed and done many wonderful works in his name, evildoers. How could that be? It's because they rejected knowing him. So here's the play. When we're rejected, we can either forgive or let it fester. One frees us, the other keeps us bound. So choose freedom. Choose freedom every time. This includes the freedom and immeasurable benefits of being a friend of God. You have the choice to be accepted by him. Don't turn it down. It's your man, The Voice, with this week's timeout. All right, time to get back in the game of life. Until next week, ready, break.